it's Dee. We're here live with Christian Vang at the NAB BSI booth. How you doing today, Christian?
I'm good. My feet are tired.
Oh, I know. It's the end of the day, so we might be a little bit punchy, but we're going to have fun.
Yeah.
Christian's great. He came over because he's one of the first stations outside of the corporate environment to install OpX.
Correct.
We haven't been talking about OpX. So we've been talking about Simeon. So let's show everybody. There's OpX.
Yep.
And you were one of the first stations to do it, and not only were you not part of a corporate chain, but you were also not-for-profit.
Correct.
So I love the story you just told me about one of the things you had to replace in the system.
Right. So one of the very first things that we noticed in our environment was that the word commercial is used a lot, and as a non-com station, you don't play commercials. You play underwriting announcements. And so one of the early things that we had to do in the software, and Frank and Marie were instrumental in this, was to actually create an option so we can take the word commercial off the brakes and just call it a break.
That was smart.
Yeah, so that was, and you know what, they gladly did that, and they were so good to work with, just for the customizations we needed. And really, you know, non-com stations tend to operate quite a bit differently than commercial stations. And so they were really good with us working through some of the issues that we had with, you know, some of the way we needed to ingest files from some of the, you know, for instance, we did take files from NPR. So they worked with us on Content Depot. We also worked together on being able to output different forms of our playlist in XML format so that we could push it out to our RDS encoders and to our website. Because unlike a lot of corporate environments, we didn't have a back-end design for that. So we had to build all of that.
Wow.
And so they were really instrumental in helping us make sure that we could get that to market very quickly.
So a lot of people install OpX when they have multiple stations because they want the audio server. So how did that work for you?
Well, so in our case, you know, our spec, and I knew going in, so I had three real requirements for OpX. One, it had to be student friendly because it's a 100% student run radio station with faculty oversight. So that was my initial requirement. It had to be student friendly. I didn't need something that was difficult to use or something that required a lot of log in, log out type processes. Number two, it needed to be stable because the way our station operated, there were a lot of times where we would be unmanned for a weekend, or you know, we would need to run overnights because we would lock our building down overnight, things like that. So stability was an absolute paramount thing. And the third thing was remote access. I needed to be able to control the system in an emergency situation, even if there was nobody present at the studio. You know, and so to be able to do all of that, OpX kind of really amazingly at the time fit all of those things. And it was this brand new product to market. It was the old user interface, so it was still a little ugly, but it was simple to use. The students picked it up really fast. They picked it up faster than us faculty people did. And, you know, and we got off the ground with the system in about a week and, you know, became a fully automated, you know, live assist type situation very, very quickly. And it worked really well. It was always stable. So.
And it's still on the air to this day.
It is on the air to this day. I mean, there's obviously with computers, you have to replace some hardware here and there. So we would replace some drives and we would do some things like that. But the station's still running on it. They're still very successful with it. And so, you know, and I don't see them changing anytime soon.
So now we get to the point where we're in our lightning round.
Okay.
And one of the things I picked up on is you don't sound like you're from Texas.
No, I'm originally a Georgia native.
Ah.
And then, of course, being in the radio business, you tend to move around a little bit. So
yep.
I've been in a few places. Texas is kind of home now, though. I've been there for almost a decade.
Yep, I get that.
So I've been in the DFW area for about that long. And so it's, you know, unless something changes, I'll continue to be a Georgia transplant.
All right, so we have a couple of questions based on your Georgia heritage.
Okay.
You can only pick one choice. It's a lightning round.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you either or, and you got to pick one.
Okay.
All right, top of your head. Here we go. Shrimp and grits or pork barbecue?
Ooh, that's a tough one. My default would be shrimp and grits.
Me too,
But-
and now I'm hungry.
But pork barbecue if it's got vinegar-based sauce.
That's North Carolina.
It is North Carolina, but it does trickle down into Georgia in places. And in fact, like where I grew up, we were actually mustard-based. So we had the vinegar base and the mustard base predominantly, and then the sweet red stuff I didn't learn to like until I moved to Texas.
All right, number 2. You said your station's a jazz station, so Miles Davis or Wynton Marsalis?
Ooh, would have to be Wynton Marsalis.
Yeah, and I've seen him. He's amazing.
He is.
Dallas or Dynasty?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Who Shot JR? Or Crystal?
Well, I have to admit, I did watch the entire reboot of the Dallas series.
Oh,
on TNT,
wow.
So
You're
probably,
saying that on video. I just want you to know.
So probably Dallas.
All right. So you told me a really cool thing that in your studio they shot 2 TV shows.
Right. So
I'm going to make you choose one.
Okay. So in the studio facility that I work in now, we actually shot Walker, Texas Ranger there. So that's kind
you
of
have a very apologetic look on your face when you say that. All right. So it's Walker, Texas Ranger or Barney?
Oh, yes, because Barney was also shot at our studio.
And you still have the tree.
And in fact, yes, that's one of my favorite Easter eggs. So we try to incorporate into some of our sets is the Barney tree. So right now, if you watch, there's a show that we tape in there. Our set looks like the White House. And if you look out on the White House lawn, there's the Barney tree.
What happened to Barney? Where'd they go?
I think the show just discontinued at some point.
Oh.
And the sets, part of the sets were left behind, so we inherited them when we bought the space.
So my guess is Walker, Texas Ranger or Barney. You're going to go with
Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh, really? I was going to go with Barney.
Chuck Norris all day.
Oh my God. Okay, finally, it's really dry out here. Even in Dallas, it's pouring rain.
Yes.
So I've been asking everybody this question to stay hydrated. Which way are you going to go? Water or coffee?
Oh, water.
Water. Yep, we definitely need the water in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah. It's very dry out here.
Thank you so much for coming by. It's really great to hear about your experience with OpX.
Absolutely, I'll be glad.
Have a great show.
All right, thanks.